Today we're going to be spinning the lucky wheel for Poseidon, and I'll talk about why this is a flagship I am definitely investing in. Hello my friends and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and in this video, sponsored by the makers of Infinite Galaxy, I am spinning the Syracuse lucky wheel for Poseidon. Now, just a little bit of how this event works before I start spinning this thing like crazy is that in order to get attempts to spin this thing, you get a free one every day, but then you've got to go and you've either got to spend a small amount of corium. You can do that 3 times a day in order to get these energy essences that you need to spin the wheel, or you buy bundles. And I think in my perfect world, they would adjust the ratio here for the number of essences that you could buy with corium, because like right now, there's only so many things to do with corium. And if you're big time spending, like I've got 428,000 corium accumulated because there's just like only so many value-oriented ways to dump your corium. Of course, my preference was when this wheel was fully corium-based. That was like the jam. So I don't know. Players have been giving their feedback about that, but I'm just hyped. The wheel is here. I did pick up some bundles to be able to spin this thing. And let's spin, shall we? No, I've got the skip animation on because, I don't know. I've been doing a lot of spinning, okay? And maybe we'll just do this speedier way. Bada boom. A whole bunch of flagship blueprints. 15 of them. Deuterium and crew training. Now, I'm going to talk about in this video why I think this flagship is really amazing. We've got some flagship energy over there. Nickel, steel, plasma. Very happy to see that. Crew training course and 5 Poseidon blueprints. I think, unlike the Odysseus, where I was like, kind of like lukewarm, I was like, maybe I need it, maybe I don't. The Galaxy Summit wasn't here yet. The Poseidon, I know I want a lot of this. I'm using it along with a couple other fleets in the Galaxy Summit Alliance versus Alliance Battlegrounds, which are very, very fun, by the way. There's 8 more Poseidon blueprints, 2 energy cores, a titanium seal crate, and crew training. Now, the Odysseus is a solid flagship, and reducing the amount of repairs that you have is kind of a big deal, even in the Galaxy Summit event, but that can be solved by having more warships, okay? You have more warships, and sure, like, you have less ships that need repair, but, I mean, okay, I am flying through a lot of warships in that game mode, but still, I think that over time, that's a solvable problem. Maybe, potentially. Here's 15 more flagship blueprints, some shipbuilding, and some building speedups. Now, why do I say maybe and potentially? Because, okay, we've got this new Alliance versus Alliance game mode, which is really sweet. And I just kind of wonder if, you know, long term, this game, I think it will probably, I would guess, have some sort of big, like, Neb versus Neb. Not beyond just, like, the Alliance versus Alliance, which is a great first step. Dude, I am loving. I really, like, had a very hype game very recently of Galaxy Summit. Man, it was very fun. I think they're going to probably add stuff at some point where you are going to need to battle other players and you will lose warships. I feel like that is almost certainly sometime down the road in the future for this game. But who knows? For now, deuterium, twice, building speeds, shipbuilding, and nickel steel. Now, the building speeds, I only sort of need, you know, the building speeds I use during the Galaxy Star event to get some extra points, and that's when I do all my building upgrades and I just speed them up. So in that regard, the building speed ups, I guess, are helpful, but I have more than enough for that at this point because the resource cost is just too large and I need to make a bunch of farms. Here's 2 deuterium crates. There's 10 flagship blueprints and a crew training course, which I'm very happy to see. Okay. Crush it, baby. Crush it. Ooh, 20 Poseidon blueprints and a deuterium crate. Happy to see that. All right. And spin it again. Plasma, nickel, steel. 10 of the Poseidon blueprints and the building speed-ups. I'd much rather have shipbuilding speed-ups, but hey, I get that the wheel's got a balance of things, okay? This is how these sorts of things work, you know? There's some things you really want and other things you want less, and, you know, that just is what it is. And maybe, at some point, they'll have a way to trade speed-ups. I mean, it's conceivable they may do that at some point. Let's spin again. 8 more flagship blueprints. Ooh, yes, twice on the shipbuilding speed-ups. That's good stuff. And the legendary outfitting crate. You know what's funny? What I don't really need, but I'm sure I will at some point, is more of these outfitting crates. I just need materials, man. Materials. I'm sure at some point that balance will flip, where like I'm flush with materials, but I want higher quality, weapons and armor to make. But for now, it's, a materials grind and I got plenty of blueprints. Okay. Let's just keep smashing this thing. I got 34 more times I can do this today. There's, ooh, yes, 18 flagship blueprints, nickel steel. Cool. Keep it going, shall we? There is the crew experience, plasma, nickel steel, 5 Poseidon. Okay, and building speed up. Pretty solid spin overall. Let's jam this thing again. And these tiered rewards, by the way, have been really good. There's the crew training course, 2 titanium steel. Oh, the 10 spot. 15. Poseidon blueprints is really solid. And I'm on my way to these tiered rewards. Let's smash this again. There's the true crew training course, the nickel steel deuterium, flagship blueprints, 5 of them, and the shipbuilding speed ups. That's a great spin. That's actually the jam. Okay, great. Let's just smash this again. Here we go. Okay, high energy course. I don't really need the experience. Like, I do and I don't. I guess I kind of do, honestly. Like, all my flagships are not max level, and I got more freaking levels to do there. Plasma crate's great. The flagship blueprints, 10 of them. Good. Building speeds is what it is. Snap this off. Baby, baby, baby. 50 more Poseidon blueprints. Let's freaking go. Spin this thing again. Oh, yes. 20 flagship blueprints and plasma. Love it. And we'll jam off the individual cracks here. 5 more blueprints and 3 more blueprints and 5 more blueprints. And last but definitely not least, nickel steel. Okay. So where does this leave me and why am I investing in the Poseidon? First of all, when you do your investments, you want to time this with the Galaxy Star event. Second of all, when you do those upgrades, by the way, you do get a bundle pop when you rank up to a new tier. I think I've gotten it from like every time I rank up to a new tier, but I've only done so many rank ups from like 6 to 7 or 10 to 11 and so on with legendary flagships. Now I'm up to 327 blueprints. Yes, I'm going to be ranking this thing up a pretty decent amount. Now I've been using it even as it is because it's pretty solid as a 7.0, I guess, 7.0 flag. Like, it's fine as a 7.0 flagship, but I know that long-term I'm going to be using it, and I'm slowly getting the unlocks over here for the outfitting slots, which I definitely am going to need more of. I'm pairing it with the Hades. Now, there are a lot of things that you could pair the Poseidon with. The Poseidon is very tanky, so I think you want to pair the Poseidon with something that's got more punch, but doesn't have a lot of staying power. And the reason I say the Poseidon is very tanky is because it's got total warship hit points. It's got armor and shields. It's got attack when in battle with other commanders and shields when in battle with other commanders. It's also got warship armor when you are above 70%. And a lot of it, by the way. And then also increases your fleet's armor yet again. I mean, this flagship is mostly tankiness and not a ton of punch, which is actually pretty solid for the Galaxy Summit, where you want to hold territory, right? You want to get into one of those outposts and hang on to it for a while. You don't necessarily want fights to go fast. Now, when you're attacking, you do want them to end very quickly. But, you know, if you're defending, you want this thing to last for a while. Now, there is an implication here that you should try to reset with this flagship very frequently. Run it back to the Galaxy Summit HQ and then refresh your fleet so that you are back above that 70% threshold. And, you know, I'm pairing with the Hades because it's got speed and punch. The other option you could pair with is also the Cyclops. I think that would be a really great pairing. And that's because the Cyclops doesn't have the tankiness it needs. And also it wants to stay above 70% as well. So those two together could be a really great tanky combo close to the HQ within your Galaxy Summit event. That way you're not having to go really far, really slowly to, you know, refresh and also get your warships back out onto the battle. Now, I personally am planning on doing, honestly, like this wheel on all 3 days of this event and just trying to grind up this Poseidon as fast as I can. I do think that it's going to be very powerful. My only concern with rushing up the Poseidon, as is the case in, you know, any game where you've got something available from like a pay to obtain way, is that, like, if you're really trying to max out everything, which I know this is like, probably sounds like crazy town to a lot of folks, but if you're trying to max out lots of things, the thing I don't want to do is drop a bunch of my Fed Advanced credits into the Poseidon. I probably don't want to drop a ton of Fed Advanced credits into the Hades if I want to buy my way into that at some point, or into the Cyclops, right? Like, that's, I don't know, that sounds like a lot even for me, to be perfectly honest, right? But there are flagships that you can't really obtain through spending, like the Athena or the Titan, where, like, those are really top tier flagships for using your Federation Advanced credits, because, like, you couldn't get them some other way. I'm just looking at things I've done in other games where I have put a bunch of sort of the equivalent of Federation Advanced credits into a flagship, and then been like, oh, wait a minute, but now I can't get it from, like, all these other things where I used to get it before. Anyways, maybe that's an over-optimization on my part for whale moves, but I'm hyped for the Poseidon. It is a pay-to-obtain flagship, and you can progress it if you want from the shop, or I guess the blueprints over here. And I think it's very much a worthy flagship, in part because it's so flexible. It doesn't care about the warship type. And if you're only running a couple fleets, then sure, you won't be able to update the outfitting on this flagship every time you run it out to go battle stuff, but all the skills are relevant, right? So you could use lots of different warships, and again, the outfitting is relevant, definitely very relevant, don't get me wrong, and that is because the type of damage that your outfitting does is super relevant, okay? But at least having flagships and all of their skills don't care about what warship you bring gives you a lot of flexibility. I think Poseidon's a solid invest. I'm working on it. But let me know your comments, your thoughts down below, and I'll check those out and respond to them. And until next time, you have fun smashing your nebula.